everyone. It is Friday. It is the first Friday of last month of the year. I cannot believe it is December. Ladies, holy smokes. This has been like the longest and fastest year of my life.
You mean this last 10 years?
It's so wild. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what we love to know right about now, and that is, where are you watching from? Where in the world are you? We know that there's a lot of meetings happening today on Zoom. And so, especially in the state of California, I think I had 5, like, variety of groups inviting me like right now. So are you co-Zooming? Do you have devices for different meetings going on? Where are you? Are you in front of the fireplace? Are you in Cabo, like some of the leadership in Colorado? Who knows where you are? But tell us, where are you? And what have you been up to? We've got some interesting, fun things happening in December still. The next 2 weeks are full of wonderful things. But first, before we talk about updates, let us all collectively celebrate Mrs. Sarah Sudachan and her recent official promotion. Senior Vice President. Do we call you Senior Vice President, Madam Senior Vice President?
You still have to call me Sarah.
I was watching a show about the Queen, and about how when Tony Blair became, not the Crown, but the Queen, another movie. When Tony Blair got in to become the prime minister, like the big line was, "Call me Tony." Like, he didn't want anyone to call him the prime minister. So we're going to call you Madam Senior Vice President. I would love to know, and I'd love for everyone to know, especially those who are not in the state of California, what is in the Sarah organization now? What are all the things involved in the member info space?
Yeah, so Lesley Appleton Young, our beloved, has been leading this group for as long as I've been there, and it'll be my 20th year next year, if you can believe. I did start when I was 12, but but she's been leading this, and it's called the Member Information Group because it's almost like a hodgepodge of everything that we do to put out for, communications and information. And a big piece of it is our research and economics department. And so along with my promotion, I want to give a huge shout out to our new chief economist, who is Jordan Levine, and he's been working with us for several years now. And Oscar Way, who I had been working, I think we started together. We were both, and just so you know, my background is in economics. I have a master's in economics. And so I was in that route until I started, this whole new industry relations piece that has grown exponentially. So our team has just grown. And so Jordan got chief economist, and this is all happening on January 1. And Oscar Way is now our deputy chief economist. And so I'm excited, happy, thrilled to work with everyone. And then we still have our industry relations piece, which is WomanUP. It's our team services, it's top producers, it's broker services. And so we'll still be doing all of that. I think I missed something there. I'm not sure. And then we have our whole fair housing and DEI component with Farrell Wilder and Lisette Torres. And what's also coming back to our group, it was out of our group for a minute, but definitely born out of our member information group, which is our housing affordability fund. So that's coming back to us, and it's a big task, a big task, and lots and lots of work to do. So I'm very excited.
Exactly the woman to do it. And we are excited to be wind beneath your wings, my friend. It's so exciting. And for those of you who don't know, even though Lesley is retiring into the loving arms of John, she's still here with us.
Yes.
Like the CAR side of, the economics team won't have her in the weekly, but we
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I will say,
will.
Lesley has, built this team that she's, kind of handing off to me. And I'm forever grateful. She has shaped me professionally, personally. She's made a huge impact. And she'll be around for me and for the rest of the team also. I mean, in addition to Woman Up, I think she'll continue to help guide us through some of the challenges we'll face next year. I'm most certain of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine her just simply cutting it off.
No,
She's
no.
she's too much about love and connection and communication, and
Right,
she's been doing it for a long time.
right, right.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
Again,
you.
I
Thank
hope that
you.
you felt the love on the socials. If we could get together, that we'd be hugging and smooching and raising glasses in real life, but we do the
Yeah.
best we can
Thank
with
you
what
to
we
all
have.
of you who posted, who sprinkled love on my screens. It was really just, and to you, Deborah, for posting it everywhere. I loved it. Sweet, sweet,
You
sweet.
know me, I'm like, again, everybody's this is the when one of us rises, we all rise.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of that. And you have been a beautiful example of what a woman in leadership who truly understands the power of shining a light on others and raising others up and surrounding yourself with just amazing words, amazing people, amazing projects. And so we look forward to seeing you soar even higher, sister.
Yay. Yay.
And speaking of soaring
Together.
higher with sisters, we also have Nina Dosange is leading our book club, The Alchemist, this month on the 15th at 2:30 p.m. Do not miss that. We have a Facebook group set up that you can RSVP for the Zoom. That will be amazing. Again, remember, our book clubs are not recorded. It is a show up and be part of it or miss it. So make sure you put that on your calendar, the 15th at 2:30. We also have the 2 final episodes in our wisdom series happening next
So
Wednesday.
awesome.
Farah Wilder is coming in to lead a conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I had a conversation with her about it last week. It's going to be fire. We're finalizing her panelists, her amazing voices, who, of course, represent DEI. So get ready to see and meet some amazing new voices next week. That's, again, the 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then on the 16th, we have, we have Courtney Polis, Gretchen Pearson, and another new person, Liz Faircloth, who are all coming in to talk about building wealth and really digging into a little bit more of the actually how to do it. Ways to set yourself up in 2021 to build wealth inside investing in the real estate space. So really looking forward to these 1, 2, 3 amazing opportunities before we close 2020 out to really enrich ourselves. So please join us. Sarah, I know that you've got some things going on, and one of the 15 different initiatives underneath your umbrella. So what are you cooking up over there?
I just realized I didn't say somebody really important on the team who's leading not only Woman Up, or will help us lead Woman Up and our team services and a whole bunch of other stuff. Melanie McShane, who is on the other side of
Yes.
the CAR staff. She was on the board of directors with you, Melanie. And now she's on the team, and we couldn't be more blessed and thrilled to have this amazing new team. And I just saw Farah Wilder came on, so your ears must have been ringing, Farah. We were just talking about you. So speaking of that, we have a STEPS event with which Melanie is helping with, and that's next Tuesday, December 8th. And it's like a 4-hour event. I'm sorry about that. It's a webinar, but it is really all about getting your clients ready for homeownership and closing the homeownership gap. And Farah's leading a panel of realtors, and we have a panel of lenders talking about the lending programs and DPA and all of all of those just really great nuggets to share with your clients. So we're really excited about that. We'll post the link in the string below for you to register. We have over, I think, 3,000 people registered or something crazy like that. So it's going to be an amazing day of information. So that's one piece of my update. The other update is California, and this is California specific, but I imagine it's going to happen a lot of places because of the rising level of COVID cases that we're seeing. We're under a new stay-at-home order in California. It is effective tomorrow at 1 p.m. And thank God, real estate is going to and will stay essential as long as you all abide by the health orders and don't hold open houses. I'm sorry, but it's really about the health and safety of everyone. And so we'll post some information in the chat, but that's kind of what's happening. It's the big news, or maybe non-news, because you can still do a real estate transaction. Thank God, you could still do your work. And so we'll share more information, and let's get into this conversation with Melanie. I'm very excited.
Yay. Well, those of you who have been around the community for the last few years, you've seen Melanie. You know Melanie Barker, but let me read to you a little bit about her. Melanie is co-owner of Gemini Real Estate Group, which we're going to learn a little bit about that in a little bit. It's a boutique brokerage located in the Sierra Foothills outside of Yosemite National Park. I mean, that just makes me want to take a deep breath. She is engaged community-minded leaders, having served as, let me take a deep breath, president of both her local Chamber of Commerce and Boys and Girls Club. She continues to serve on both board of directors. Melanie has also been involved in organized real estate for almost 15 years and has served in a multitude of capacities. I'm sure many of you have served alongside her. Uniquely, as soon as she was licensed, she was involved, which will be interesting. I'd love to know more about that for sure. She likes to let people know she doesn't know any better. Oh, Melanie, you're funny. Melanie's life of service started when she enlisted in the U.S. Navy many lifetimes ago. She is a rock star producer at an average of $8 million a year. Woo! In an area with an average sales price of $290K. Okay, so she's just doing 1 or 2 transactions a year. Oh my goodness. Melanie and her business partner have been a team for over 13 years and are still going strong. Woo! Welcome, Melanie. Your bio makes me giggle. I love it. It's like your personality beams in it. How are you? Tell us how you are. What's going on?
I'm good. It's been a good year. My health is good. Life is good. I mean, it's a really super short story, right? We can talk about other things that have gone wrong this year, and there will, I'm sure, have plenty of those opportunities as the conversation progresses. But at this 5 minutes, I'm fabulous. I would like you to know, though, that I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Danielle Fontes, who said, I'm watching you on WomanUP, waiting for you to talk. Should I get some tequila shot for every time you swear? So
I love it.
Do it.
So we're going to try not to give you any tequila today, Danielle. Okay. Not make any promises. Okay. And it depends on what constitutes swearing, which 4-letter words. Okay. We'll refrain from using my favorite one that starts with F, but the rest I can't say. We can't make any promises.
It's okay. All the kids are in school, so we're good.
Okay, good.
At least we're good here.
There's
And
no
you're in my
swear
ears.
jar.
You're in my ears, so Jules can't like charge you for the swear jar. So we're good. We're totally good.
I love it.
So funny.
Melanie, you've shared it. So the Sierras and your area is absolutely stunning. I've been there. And I think I was at a shoddy little motel, and she was like, oh, no, you're coming to my house, and opened up her home to me. So thank you for that graciousness, Melanie. But tell us, you've told me the story, but why did you get into real estate?
So I was working in Silicon Valley in a business development group. I actually worked for Deloitte. A lot of people probably know that name. And in the business development technology space. And we had some family stuff going on. And so I came back here to my area and worked kind of half and half. And then it just didn't work out anymore. So May 27th, 2004 was the last time I worked for corporate America. And my mom says, my mom's a realtor, and she says, hey, I think you'd be really good in real estate. I was like, all right, I had a house payment. And I'm like, okay, mom, like I can't live on commission. I never worked on commission. What the hell did I know? So I'm like, sorry, mom, not going to happen. She says, okay, well, just get your license and you can do it part-time. And I was like, all right, that's cool. You know, this is my mom, a realtor, and says, can you do it part-time? I was like, all right, cool. So I get my license and she says, oh, by the way, real realtors don't do it part-time. You don't get to do it part-time.
Bait and switch.
I was like, what the hell? You know, the market was rising, so it seemed to be okay. And, you know, I managed my way through it. But this is also what's really interesting is that my mom and I did start at the same brokerage, but we independently own our own brokerages. She primarily does property management. We have never worked as a team or anything together. And I like to say the reason for that is because paperwork is my strong suit for negotiations, but not for transactions, and neither is it hers. We probably would have ended up in jail, and that's just not where I want to go. So
Know thyself.
yes,
Know thyself.
So no, I am not. My mom and I never teamed up. Love her. We have a great relationship. She's amazing. She's an amazing property manager. I don't know how she does it, man. I don't know how she does it. That is a tough business. So anyway, that's how I got into real estate.
I love that. I love the stories where it's actually somebody in real estate going, come over.
Come to the dark side.
Come to the dark sure, side. Yeah, come to the dark side. It's like when you're single, everyone wants you to get married. I love that. And it's interesting that you chose not to partner with your mom. I love the reason why. But let's dig into how did you choose your business partner then if they weren't related? Because we do see a lot of, partners, husbands and wives, or wives and wives, or husbands and husbands, or whatever, like people who couple that do it.
Yeah.
And we do see a lot of parents and kids, but you're not related. Is that, are you? Yeah.
No, not at all. So this is actually another really funny story. And you can get out the tequila shot here in a second, Danielle.
I was going to say, where the F-bomb's coming.
No. It's only B because it's part of the story. So my very first brokerage was a local another boutique brokerage, Bass Lake Realty. And they had a location in Bass Lake and another community nearby is Course Gold. They just opened it. I'd just been licensed. I was the only one on floor for like 30 days, whatever. And it was so boutique that supposedly the agents got an opportunity to weigh in on who would come to the brokerage, right? Because it was so small. And so here I am, like super tired. And then the broker walks in, goes into the conference room with this blonde woman. And I was like, I wonder what that's about, right? Well, my mom, of course, knew my business partner's name is Shelly. My mom knew Shelly and thought she's fantastic and stuff, right? So Shelly starts and I'm like, whatever, because they don't even talk to me about it, right? And I'm like, so how do you want to divide floor schedule back in the floor days? Okay, some of you new agents probably don't even know what that word is, but anyway, so we sit down. I'm like, how do we want to do this floor schedule, right? And she was like, she leaves that day, and she was like, who is that skinny bitch to tell me what to do? Right? And so she comes back. And I actually had to go off to a state meeting, and I had a client that needed some help. And Shelly and I, fast forward a few months, had gotten along pretty well. She covered for me. And then And then we went to a marketing class, and she had been in real estate for a few years longer than me, 5 or 6 years longer than me. And by then she's like, look, I never want to do real estate again without a partner. I just don't want that pressure. And so we sat down and did a list of pros and cons, likes and dislikes, and figured out who would do what. And that's how we teamed up now I think I wrote that bio a little while ago, because I just hit my 15th year, and we've been a team starting, I think this month. We're 14 years this month. Yeah. And how we got our name.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we haven't asked that yet, but we are all inquiring minds are leaning in to understand how you came up with Gemini Real Estate Group.
So, because you asked me about how we became a team, and that took me forever to tell you that story. Yeah. So, we go to the same hair salon, not the same hairdresser. And for months and months, we're trying to figure out a name, and even just couldn't come up with something. It just wasn't coming together. And actually, it was while I was getting my hair done in wraps, trying to become blonde, and I think it was Stephanie, my hairdresser, came up with the name. We were just tossing around things that we had in common. We're both Geminis. And then, so that was and we also thought, kind of like the Gemini, not the movie, the Gemini Project, but Gemini was a big project name for the space age, and just trying to be, kind of have a modern spin to it, but we're very boutique. So that's how we got our name.
What does that word mean to you when you say we're boutique?
Well, the fact that we're small is a good start. I think now in this real estate space, there's been a lot of consolidation, and I'm sure you've had conversations around this, and you've been involved in seeing brokerages come together, teams come together, break apart. It's a very dynamic business that way. But I think with all the consolidation, we live in a small rural community. The sum total of my population is right around 60,000. And that's like 5 communities, And so, but most of the brokerages up here are actually franchised brokerages. So we're one of the few unfranchised brokerages up here. And we have me and my business partner. We now have a transaction coordinator that also does some of her own real estate work. And we have another agent coming on. And so, most of the business that we've done is mostly my business partner and I, but with the new agent we have that has been on with us now, she's doing a really good job. And I really want it to evolve into making sure that it's really that term soup to nuts, right? Like, this is very much in our minds a consulting business in a lot of ways, right? And it's about the relationships. And I'm really, really big on the relationships, to the point that my business partner thinks that people perceive me to be the mean one, by the way. I am not. Okay. I'm the nice one. And so
the nice one.
And she's in this room hearing every word I'm saying, just so you guys know. So she knows what I'm saying.
Small offices can hear a lot.
That's right. But it's really making sure that no real estate transaction is perfect. It just isn't. And we want our clients to know that we are there to handle things so that they can live their lives, and that they feel confident and comfortable with their outcomes, and definitely strive for win-win. And so I think you do that in that one-on-one relationship. And I think technology is great for what we can use it for as a tool like this. And we've had to use it a lot this year, but I do think that it's very much about that connection. And that's a lot of why I do what I do in the community.
Well, first of all, Danielle, did you take your shot? But I do want to get to a little bit of what you've learned this year. Before we do that, you know, I think we read somewhere in your bio, or we were talking about it in the green room, that you've been giving back to organized real estate since you started in real estate. So how did that like that's how I met you
Yep.
through your work on the board at CAR. But how did you get involved in organized real estate?
Well, obviously I got conned into the business by my mom, and she was already and she was already involved. But interestingly, I didn't get she didn't want to put my name forward because she didn't want it to be like any sort of like nepotism. But I think honestly, I was young and had some energy, and they're like, yes, we got a new body, let's take her on.
Yes.
So I started off as our volunteer government affairs director. So I started off in that policy space at the very beginning, and then once I became a local director, local president, and all that, I moved into being a state director from there, and
NAR as well. You're involved at NAR, so at all levels.
Yeah. So currently I'm in my last month of being treasurer for the President Association of Realtors and a director for them, and I'm a state director and a national director. So, and I serve in some roles there. I don't know if we're going to talk about that or not.
Oh, just some roles. So I have to say, Danielle said no, she hasn't. And
she owes you a shot.
And Sabrina Brown says, well, I'm scared to meet your business partner now. Well, then what's so funny is I remember when I actually interviewed you over on my Power Women group. This has got to be like, what, 3 years ago now, Melanie? Mm-hmm. And we were talking about resting beep face, right? Yeah. And about how there is this perception when you are a fiercely focused female, and you were like getting your shizzle done, that somehow that means that you're the mean one or the witch or whatever. And there's been so much research lately done on the introvert or ambivert personality. And in real estate, there are so many introvert or ambiverts that are coming out of the woodwork. And almost all of them say the same thing. Like, people think I'm not nice, but I am the nicest one in the room. It's just your mind is so focused on, well, sometimes when it's a room full of strangers, you're like, please don't bring small talk. Please don't bring small talk. Please don't bring small talk.
Well, no, I'm good at small talk now, mostly.
You have to be in this business.
Right, they're talking about themselves.
I love it. So let's dig in. We've looked at the conversations in December when Sarah and I were talking about, who's coming on the show to have a conversation with us. It really was like, how do we talk about the reflections of 2020, right? We don't need to dig into the nitty gritty because we all been living it, right? We've all been living this craziness. But when you close your eyes, when you're sitting around the table with your beloveds, when you look back on this year, what are the thoughts that are coming to your mind? Like, what are your highlights?
I got a she shack, baby. I mean, come on.
Got a she shack, baby.
I'm not there right now because down the alleyway, so to speak, is one of the things I'm involved with, the Boys and Girls Club. We had to, by the way, I hate this word, but I'm going to use it because I don't have another word right now. We had to pivot with our biggest fundraiser we do every year for their Christmas. We do an annual Christmas tree auction for them. And I've been involved with that for a number of years. And we had to figure out a way to set the trees up and film them to put them on this online space. Anyway, it's just down there. So I needed to be available for that. Can I flash my shirt?
Oh, please flash your shirt by all means.
Okay, look, this is to be prepared for my tree auction. Is this not the cutest thing, ladies?
I love it. By the way, where'd you get it? I need one for matching ones for Jules and I.
I got it last year. I don't know. I just put it away. I never even got to wear it. Anyway, okay, I went off on another tangent. Sorry, what were we saying?
We're reflecting on the 2020. You did say she shack, and you know what I loved about your social feed? You were like, I don't know, maybe the beginning of November, where you're like, I am making a statement to share positive goodness.
You're
your hashtag is like she shack life or something
Yes,
like that. I love
exactly.
it.
Yes, that's
I love that
that's my
hashtag.
hashtag. Yeah, I decided that was going to be my hashtag. Yeah, you can see I don't post every day. Well, not every day is that positive. No, mostly that's not, it's not
Tell us
true.
about the She Shack. So this was your greatest accomplishment for the year?
No, it wasn't my greatest accomplishment, but I will say, here's what I will say is that it was the greatest gift.
Aw.
And it was the greatest gift from my husband and my brother-in-law, who came up and stayed with us for 2 weeks and then came back another week, and some really close friends. I call them my family, my friends that are my family, nephews, and my real nephews. So these 5 preteen and teenage boys, my brother-in-law and my husband, and then a few friends, construction friends, built me a she shack, and they did it just because they love me, right? I didn't have to pay somebody to do it for me.
That is so awesome.
So that
what do you
was
do
my
in the She Shack?
So speaking of like reflections and looking at growth and where we want to be, there are some leadership aspirations that I have that I can't really talk about right now, but in that though, I also am a life learner and a firm believer in personal development and kind of taking that to the next level. So I am a certified Jack Canfield trainer in the Success Principles. I did that this year.
Fun.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so I have that certification. I did that. We did all while my business partner 1 month had, she got COVID actually, and she was sick for about 4 weeks out. I mean, really sick, and kind of came back for about another 2 weeks where she was off a little bit. And we did, I don't know, we've done like 47 transactions. We've done like $12 million this year. And had the She Shack going, and we just had tons and tons of stuff. And I did this training. And so basically that's what I do. I spend time in the shack, just trying to stay up on things in the industry and my own development, and looking at that as what does, the next 5 years of my life look like, and building into that. So yeah. And then I have wine, a lot of wine.
It's almost time to pop it open. But I do want to talk a little bit about that, because I took
About the wine?
No, but we can always talk about wine.
Right.
This week has been particularly hard for me because of all the Zoom calls, and
Yeah.
I find myself hitting a wall.
Yeah.
I have been hitting a wall, and you start to see my energy like fade. And I think, and this is my like theory. I think it's because I took a vacation from Zoom for the week of Thanksgiving, and I didn't do any Zoom. And then I came back and it was like, boom, Zoom. Like, how do you like stay involved at the local, do the Boys and Girls Club, and run a successful real estate career? Like, where are the balance besides the wine? But like, what do you do to help, stay focused and giving and tapping into your servant heart? Like, how do you do it all?
So I'm lucky to have a really great support network. I have an annoyingly incredible husband, right? Because it's another person you're living with and trying to make it work. But he does everything at home to make my life as easy as possible, even when I get into trouble for not cleaning up my girl bathroom, which I got in trouble yesterday for not cleaning up my girl bathroom, just so we're all clear about that. But anyway.
First of all, I love that you have a girl bathroom.
Yeah.
Very important.
But yeah, my husband does everything to make my life easy at home, and my business partner is fantastic, and we now have a transaction coordinator. And I also I get up at 4 a.m. and I go to bed at 8.
Sleep your way to the top, they say.
Yeah, so and then I walk every day 3 miles at 6:30 in the morning. I'm at the high school track and I walk 3 miles every day. That helps a lot, and did it in 22-degree weather, which was really cold that morning, super
Do
frosty.
you do it at 4 a.m.?
I walk at 6:30 a.m.
Oh, 6:30. Okay. I'm
Oh, like 6:30 is even better.
It's
Yeah.
very cold at 6:30 still.
Yeah, it is. It is very chilly. So I'm not gonna say I have all the answers, and I'm not gonna lead anybody astray. I have really great days where everything goes, oh, I'm on fire, man. You cannot stop me. And I have other days where I am barely managing it, right? Because it's not about time, it's about energy. I think we all have the time, it's managing the energy that's the problem, right? And when I, as much business as I've done this year, there were some low energy points, absolutely. The one thing though that I didn't stop, and the one thing that I hold on to, is my sleep schedule and my walking schedule. And then I have that quiet time in the shack for reflection. I do a gratitude journal every day. And so I do at least 10 things I'm grateful for every day, even if it's just something that's super repeated, just to make sure, that I'm
Like the air.
yeah, exactly. Which I'm obviously lucky to have. Not this summer. The fires were terrible. We were evacuated. You name it this year, and it's happened to one of us or me or anybody else. And I've just made it my mission to stay as positive as I possibly could in all of this, because too many people rely on me. For my income, their income, my community support, whatever it is. So it's just not an option. I just made that decision.
Well, I think we've seen, there's been some words that are red threaded through every conversation we've had this year, in particular, starting mid-March to today. And those are things like resilience, persistence. And I think that perspective is another big one. Actually, perspective was my 2021 word. Like the one word that I was like, okay, that's going to be my word this year. I'm like, so thankful, because it's that filter that we put every experience we've got going. What are we putting that through? And there are definitely two camps. There are those who cannot see the positive. Everything is what they're missing, who they don't see, what they can't touch, what they can't be doing. And they're stuck in that loop. Right. But I feel that the women and men in our community, and especially the women like you who've raised your hand to say, yes, I want to have a conversation about this, are definitely in that other camp, where it's not like everything is rosebuds and rainbows and unicorns pooping Skittles. It's a
great visual.
What can I say?
I know,
it's a Bitmoji, right? But it's this, you can look at this year in two very different ways. Like I saw this ornament go through my screen today, and it was like a little green dumpster on fire, and I was like, that's kind of sad to me.
Right.
There's going to be Christmas trees out there that are talking about this year, and like it's a dumpster fire. I mean, as a joke, it's one thing, but I think even as a joke, it's still bringing our minds down to that space. And so I love that you're talking, you obviously have positive self-talk. So what else do? You do the gratitude journal, you're doing the walking. How do you help your community stick in that space as well? Because I think that, one of the conversations we've had throughout the year is how do we lead people to that path, because we know that there is more joy there, right?
Well, locally, my walk is open for anybody that wants to come at 6:30 in the morning and walk with me. It's mostly women that end up doing it, of course. And it comes and goes. Like some days, 5 of us, sometimes it'll be a couple of us, I'm there 99% of the time. I think since March, I've missed like maybe 5 or 6 days. I had to have a minor surgery. And so I missed, actually, no, I didn't even miss those days. I lied. I went the day of, and I went the morning of. I forgot, because I had an afternoon surgery, which is a really bad idea, by the way. Never do that. That's a long time without food.
Yes. I hear that. I love it. So you invite people to come along for the walks.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that.
beautiful.
And trying not to let the communities down that I've already committed to. So, like I said, with our Boys and Girls Club tree auction, because our people on it's a committee we have, basically, like everything has a committee, right? That are too high risk for COVID. They can't be with us. So it turned into 3 of us doing it this year, and we decorated. Not really 3 of us. There's a few more of us, but for the most part, that kind of kept it coalesced. And normally we have around 10 or so of us doing it, and just did it. And we have, how many trees? 6 or 7 trees, some wreaths, and just, I don't know, it's just not letting people down when they need that, knowing that I made the commitment and not letting that commitment go, and making sure that I show up, even if it's only for a few minutes, right? I mean, I think that's one of the things that I talk about with people when it comes to not how you get involved, because I know sometimes that's hard to figure that out. But if you have figured it out, that every minute that you give to something where you're volunteering makes a difference. You know, I had a friend that was having a really bad day, and I just told her to come over to the tree auction space and help out, right? Because we were far enough apart, just, you know, and she really literally hates Christmas. I love Christmas, by the way.
Shocking.
And I
We
know,
wouldn't
right?
have any
Sweater
idea.
didn't tell me.
Your earrings, the polar bear on your chest.
Thanks for pointing out the obvious, Mel.
Oh my God.
And it honestly, she was there, she could only do like an hour or 2, but it was like something I didn't have to do because she was there to show up and contribute. And everybody has something to contribute.
Yeah.
That is
Everybody.
so
We just
true.
got to help them find what that thing is.
Good word.
So good. So this year, it could have been a dumpster fire, but we in this community have made lemonade together, and we connected.
Or lemon drops.
Or lemon drop martinis for Lesley. But we've connected, and we've stayed the course and learned so much from each other. Melanie, I want to know what your biggest lesson from 2020 has been, leadership or otherwise.
I don't know, you guys. I mean, I feel like that's a stupid answer, but there's just so much. I think I don't know that I could say what I lesson learned. Oh, well, no, actually we get to decide. We get to decide what our day looks like. We get to decide what our business looks like. And I decided to continue to show up.
Yeah.
And I think that even on days when I had no idea what it was going to look like, you know, and just doing it. I know that sounds terrible, and it sounds like a Nike commercial, which is awful, but
Just do it.
That's one of my mottos. Like I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And so that's so powerful. I don't think it's dumb. It's powerful.
It's also setting aside the emotion and the fear, right? That sometimes we've got, you know, when we're thinking about our whole process, you've got your heart, your mind, your gut, and they all work together in our decision-making process. And sometimes one wins out over the other, right? And I just had to, when my gut hurt, my heart was hurting because of what I was seeing for other people. My mind just said, you have to ignore that and you have to do it. You have people relying on you. And so I think it's just setting it aside and just saying, sometimes you just can't look at your feelings in the same way, and they need to be set aside.
I would challenge you and anyone else who's listening to actually look at that through a little bit different of a lens, you know me. Yeah. And that is that you didn't actually ignore them, you leveraged them. You actually, and we as women in leadership, we see this time and time again because we have we have been moving up the ladder in a system that was created by men for men. And there's nothing wrong with it, except for it doesn't work for women.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I'm like, ta-da.
Yeah.
And for so long, if you look back thousands of years, the stories that women have been told, we've been told to actually push down our emotions, push down our feelings. But I think that we've seen, especially this year, that the women who have strong emotional intelligence, who actually can feel an emotion and say, this is what it's telling me, I am going to listen and move forward. And so your emotions are they're on fire in your heart and in your gut, because you have that empathy for others. And instead of sitting in the corner sobbing, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of business, and
Yeah.
I'm going to go and help people. And I think that's huge. And I think we can celebrate it ourselves, even on a deeper level, when we recognize that we actually use those emotions to do so much good on this planet. So congratulations. Woo-woo!
Well, and I think it's a passion, right? Like, I love what I do. I believe what we do matters. And probably, obviously, we've seen this year more so than at some other points in time in our history. And so I think that was part of the showing up piece, right? Is that there's people that they need to sell, they need to buy, like literally, you know, I had a client that we just sold him a house, not even, was it just a year ago or 2 years ago? He lost his job in Silicon Valley. They moved to North Carolina, like, and had to go like that. You know, like, things happen and life happens, and we're a big part of what happens in people's lives. And so I guess I take that pretty seriously, right? I mean, I can have a good time and we can joke, and I've got really great clients, but I take it pretty seriously. It's the single largest financial decision somebody's going to make 1 to 3 times in their life, or whatever. You probably know the stats, Sarah, but it's just not something that people do every day of their lives, and they still need to live their lives.
Yeah. Well, and that's the beauty. I think that, you actually kind of alluded to it earlier. It's like, not every day is a good day. Not every day is your emotional intelligence strong. There are some days where you do sit in bed longer and you have a good cry. And that's when the Sarahs and the Deborahs come alongside, and they hold it up. And then you get your day of rest, and then you come back and you kick some booty the next day while Sarah cries in her bed, and then we shift to me. And then, like, we're allowed that. And I think that's powerful. And I think that that's one of the most beautiful elements of the WomanUP community, is that we've been able to be very vulnerable with each other and share that that's okay. It's actually better than okay. It's what makes us so incredibly unique and strong.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
All the fuzzy worms.
I love it. I love it. So, I mean, what I've seen from you, Melanie, is that passion, and you lead not only your business, but your life and your volunteer work with that higher passion, that higher meaning, right? Like, it's this North Star that drives you. And I feel it coming through the Zoom screen. So I'm so honored to say you're a friend. That's like what's going on over here. People are hungry. So I guess that means it's time to wrap up. And if you would maybe share words of wisdom, piece of advice, anything on your heart to share with the WomanUP community, Melanie?
I think just be kind to yourself. And I think in this group of people, that's easier said than done. And I know that I have a mirror right here, you know, right in front of me, saying the same thing back to me, that as we wind down the year, take the time, if it's given to you, to really plan for next year and be grateful for what we have today. And don't let the year happen to you. Go out there and go after it in 2021.
I love that. I'm going to ask for a bonus, and that is, what are you looking forward to the most in 2021?
Hopefully getting to see all my peeps again. I mean, is that not the number one thing everybody wants? I mean, come on. I got a fuzzy sweater on. Everybody would want to pet me right now. Come on.
We do. We're petting you virtually right now. Yes, I love that. I love that. And I love the
So
energy that
beautiful.
popped right out of you. So good. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for saying yes to sharing time with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for
I love you,
blessing
Melanie.
us. Yes, we love you so much. Thanks to everyone who joined us today for the conversation. You know how this works. If you're watching the replay, feel free to drop comments or questions underneath. All three of us will be here to see those bing, 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 because we're tagged in the post. So if you've got questions for Melanie, if you want to connect with her, I did drop her business page link in, so give that some love. Send her some referrals. And get connected. That's the point of these weekly conversations, is when you hear that thing, if you've got a she shack or you've always wanted a she shack, get connected on that level. If you've wondered about the Boys and Girls Club, get connected on that level. Find the things that you have in common and get in collaboration with one another. As we mentioned at the beginning, there are a few more events happening this month. Check out the events page. Get plugged in. Don't let these opportunities fly by. Until next Wednesday, everyone, take great care. Have a wonderful weekend. Remember, no open houses. Sarah said, no open houses.
Be safe out there.
Be safe.
Be safe.
Be safe. Wear fabulously fashionable masks. Enjoy yourself. Wear cute shoes. And enjoy. We'll see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.